My name is Father Sean McDonagh. I'm a Columban missionary. Here in Dalgan on the Columban Way, at tourists, we have 9 points that expresses what St. Columba says. This one is about the creation. It says, understand the creation if you want to know about the Creator. In Latin, it's very beautiful. Si vis scire creatorum, creatorum. So if you want to understand creation, then learn about God. Because learning about creation tells us who God is in our world today. This is very much in line with this new understanding that all creation is intrinsically valuable to God and that we must respect it as such. When we were studying the Bible, until very recently, when we read the first account of creation, we read that God created man and woman in his own image and likeness, and he told them to go out and to conquer the earth. So in other words, the way we thought was that we had obligations, moral obligations to other human beings, but we had no moral obligations to any other species whatever, because the world was there for us. Now, the Pope in this document says this is a wrong interpretation of actually Genesis. The world is there for all of God's creatures. We would have said in the past, no, the world is there as an instrument to us. But now he's saying very clearly, the world has intrinsic value. That's an extraordinary change. The encyclical uses the point from St. Thomas Aquinas, that God could not express himself in any one species. Therefore he made many, many species, so that in every species there's a particular dimension of God. Now, we talked about the destruction of biodiversity, the horrendous damage it's doing to the planet at the moment and to humankind. But it's also doing a damage to our theology, because the more species that become extinct, these aspects that are expressed in that of God fall away. And the Irish monks were very unique, because they weren't affected by the theology of St. Augustine. And so they actually brought to Europe and here a real sense of God's presence in the natural world itself. I mean, Patrick went up Croagh Patrick, for example. So in the natural world was the place for us to live out our Christian religion. And that's exactly what St. Columban is talking about. In the post-Augustine world, we had very little time for creation. We said, teach us to despise the things of earth and to love the things of heaven. Columban wouldn't know what you're talking about. He would find God in this grove. That's where he found God many times in Luxeuil, and when he talked to the French bishops about finding God's presence in the natural world. So that was one of the big things that the Celtic monks, St. Columcille, Patrick himself, and St. Columban brought, that this is the kind of spirituality we'll have to have in the future, that we have to take all creation with us and be sensitive to what's happening in creation in this new spirituality. It will be very, very challenging, but it's the one that will bring us into the future, and we will not be thinking, as we were in the past, that the world was there just for human beings and they had a right to do anything they wanted with it, even if it was something that was quite destructive. That is no longer possible for our morality and for our spirituality. Now we must be trying to live in the most sustainable way with creation.